Stop scrolling. Top 5 1-cent wheat pennies worth big money. Welcome to Numismatic Vault Extra. Today, we're exploring 5 of the most valuable 1-cent wheat penny coins from the United States of America, United States. In this video, we'll take a close look at their current market values, highlight famous era coins, and explain the specific conditions that make certain wheat pennies extremely rare. This includes copper compositions, unique color shades, and special characteristics that have become major players in the coin collector and investor world. These rare treasures are not just pieces of history. They are also some of the most valuable coins collectors are actively hunting today. So, if you're a coin enthusiast, an investor, or someone who appreciates the beauty and significance of American currency, backhand index pointing right, this video is for you. Let's get started with the first coin. Magnifying glass tilted left money bag. The 1956 D Wheat Penny, a copper witness to America's golden years. In the vast ocean of American coinage, few coins feel as alive as the Lincoln Wheat Penny, and among them the 1956 D Wheat Cent stands as a quiet survivor of a hopeful age. It was born in a time when America believed deeply in progress, when families gathered around radios, children played in open streets, and money still felt solid and honest in the hand. The year 1956 belonged to a nation standing tall after war and hardship. Factories roared with new life, highways stretched across the land, and the middle class was growing faster than ever before. In this world, a single penny still mattered. It could buy candy, newspapers, or a moment of joy, making this small copper coin part of everyday dreams. The Denver Mint, marked with a small D beneath the date, struck these coins to meet the enormous needs of a booming economy. Millions were produced, yet each one began its life shining with fresh copper warmth, ready to serve a country rushing forward. The design itself carries deep meaning. Abraham Lincoln's calm and thoughtful profile reflects unity, strength, and sacrifice. On the reverse, the twin wheat stalks symbolize growth and prosperity, reminding the nation of the harvest of peace after years of struggle. Unlike modern coins, the wheat penny was made of real copper, a metal that feels alive. Over time, copper darkens, softens, and absorbs the touch of every hand that holds it. Each 1956 D cent carries a unique surface shaped by decades of movement. When these pennies entered circulation, they passed through school children, shopkeepers, factory workers, and travelers. They rode in pockets, jars, cash registers, and purses, silently recording the rhythm of daily American life. Most were spent without thought, worn smooth, lost, or melted. Survival was never promised. That is why the pennies that remain today feel special, not because they were rare at birth, but because time chose to spare them. Collectors know that condition tells a story. A well-preserved 1956 D Wheat Penny carries sharp lettering, strong wheat lines, and traces of original luster. These details transform a simple cent into a preserved memory. Holding one is like holding a small piece of history. It connects the present to a time when money had sound, weight, and personality. It reminds us that wealth once moved slowly, measured not in screens, but in metal. The Wheat Penny series itself represents an entire generation. From world wars to economic recovery, these coins witnessed America's greatest changes. By 1956, the design had already become legendary, trusted, and beloved. Only a few years later, the wheat design would disappear forever, replaced by a new symbol. That makes every 1956 D cent part of the closing chapter of a beloved era in American coinage. As time passes, fewer untouched examples remain. Coins are damaged, altered, or forgotten. Each lost penny makes the survivors more meaningful, quietly increasing their historical importance. There is a special feeling in rediscovering a wheat penny. It awakens curiosity, imagination, and respect for the past. It reminds us that even the smallest object can carry generations of human stories. This is why collectors pause before spending old copper. Once gone, a piece of history disappears forever. Once preserved, it continues to speak across time. In the end, the 1956 D Wheat Penny is not just money. It is a symbol of endurance, hope, and memory. It teaches us that value is not always loud, and that sometimes, the greatest treasures are the ones we nearly overlook. Next up, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a copper echo from a world at war. In the long story of American money, Some coins feel like they carry the heartbeat of an entire generation, and the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark is one of those rare survivors. It was born during one of the most intense years in world history, when every day felt uncertain and every small object, even a penny, carried meaning far beyond its size. The year 1944 was a turning point. The world was still locked in war, and families waited for letters from distant battlefields. Factories ran day and night, and every citizen felt part of a larger mission. Money was not just currency, it was a tool of survival, hope, and endurance. This penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it bears no mint mark. Philadelphia was the heart of American coinage, producing money for a nation under pressure. Each coin left the presses as a promise that life at home would continue despite the storm overseas. The design on the coin feels especially powerful in this context. Abraham Lincoln's steady gaze reflects sacrifice and unity, while the wheat stalks on the reverse symbolize growth even in difficult soil. It is a message of quiet resilience. Unlike earlier wartime cents made from steel, the 1944 penny returned to copper. That metal felt warm and familiar, reminding people of stability. Copper absorbs time, darkening and softening, making each coin a unique witness to history. These pennies traveled through ration lines, factory counters, and family kitchens. They bought bread, stamps, and small comforts. They passed through hands that were working hard, waiting patiently, and hoping for peace. Millions were struck, yet survival was never guaranteed. Many were lost, melted, or worn beyond recognition. Time claimed most of them quietly, which makes every surviving example feel like a small miracle. Collectors today understand that condition tells a story. A well-preserved 1944 cent with clear lettering and defined wheat stalks feels like a window into the past. It carries not just copper, but memory. Holding one connects us to a world where money had weight and sound. It reminds us of a time when people counted coins carefully and every cent mattered. The Wheat Penny series itself is a symbol of America's endurance. From world wars to economic recovery, these coins witnessed change and carried it quietly in their metal. The absence of a mint mark ties this coin directly to the nation's center, where production never stopped even in the hardest times. It represents determination and consistency. As years pass, fewer untouched examples remain. Coins disappear, are damaged, or forgotten. Each loss makes the survivors more meaningful. Rediscovering one feels like uncovering a time capsule. It awakens imagination and respect for those who lived through history. This is why collectors pause before spending old pennies. Once gone, history fades. Once preserved, it speaks forever. In the end, the 1944 Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than money. It is a symbol of courage, endurance, and hope. Proof that even the smallest coin can carry the weight of a nation's story. Next up, the 1957 Wheat Penny, a copper voice from America's final golden decade. Among the countless coins that have passed through American hands, few carry the quiet soul of the 1957 Lincoln Wheat Penny. It is a small copper circle, yet it holds the spirit of an era when the nation believed deeply in tomorrow, when homes filled with music, children played in open streets, and money still felt warm and real. The year 1957 belonged to a hopeful America. The scars of war were fading, highways stretched across the land, and families dreamed of stability and growth. The penny still mattered then. It could buy candy, newspapers, and small moments of happiness, making it part of daily life. The Denver Mint, marked with the D beneath the date, struck these coins for a nation on the move. Factories were booming, commerce was expanding, and millions of coins were needed to keep the economy flowing smoothly. Each freshly struck penny glowed with bright copper, ready to serve. It was never meant to be saved or admired. It was created to work, to travel, to wear down slowly as time passed. Abraham Lincoln's calm face on the front reminds us of unity and strength, while the wheat stalks on the back symbolize growth and prosperity. Together, they tell a story of endurance and hope. Copper is a living metal. It darkens, softens, and records every touch. Each 1957 penny carries a unique surface shaped by decades of movement through human hands. These pennies pass through school children, shopkeepers, factory workers, and travelers. They jingled in pockets, rested in cash registers, and slipped across counters countless times a day. Most were worn smooth, lost, or forgotten. Survival was never promised. That is what makes the ones that remain today feel special. A well-preserved example still shows sharp wheat lines and strong lettering. It feels like holding a frozen moment from another time. The Wheat Penny series itself witnessed America's greatest changes. From wars to peace, from hardship to prosperity, these coins were always there. By 1957, the wheat design was nearing its final chapter. Only a year later, it would disappear forever, replaced by a new symbol. That makes every 1957 cent part of the closing story of a beloved era. Paragraph 13. As years pass, fewer untouched examples remain. Coins vanish, are damaged, or are spent again. Each survivor grows more meaningful with time, not because of rarity at birth, but because of endurance. Rediscovering one feels like opening a time capsule from a simpler world. It reminds us when money had weight, sound, and presence. Collectors pause before spending old copper, knowing history can be lost forever. Preserved, the coin becomes a silent witness to American life. It teaches us that even small things can carry great stories. In the end, the 1957 wheat penny is not just a cent. It is a symbol of memory, endurance, and hope, proof that value often hides in plain sight. Next up, the 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny, a copper memory from America's everyday golden age. In the quiet corners of American history, some of the most powerful stories live inside the smallest objects. The 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny with no mint mark is one such survivor, a coin that once moved unnoticed through millions of hands, yet today carries the weight of a nation's everyday life. The year 1956 belonged to a hopeful America. The nation was healing, building, and dreaming again. Families gathered around black and white televisions. Children rode bicycles down wide streets, and money still felt solid and real in the hand. This penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is why it carries no mint mark. Philadelphia was the heart of American coinage, producing money for a growing country that needed small change for daily life. Fresh from the presses, the coin shone with bright copper warmth. It was never meant to be rare or treasured. It was created to work, to move, and to slowly wear away as time passed. Abraham Lincoln's calm face on the front reflects unity and endurance, while the wheat stalks on the reverse symbolize growth and prosperity. Together, they tell a story of quiet strength. Copper is a living metal. It darkens, softens, and records every touch. Each 1956 penny carries a surface shaped by decades of movement through human hands. These pennies traveled through schoolyards, grocery counters, factories, and kitchens. They bought candy, stamps, bread, and moments of simple joy. Most were worn smooth, lost, or forgotten. Survival was never promised. That is why the pennies that remain today feel special. A well-preserved example still shows clear lettering and strong wheat lines. It feels like holding a frozen moment from another time. The Wheat Penny series itself witnessed America's greatest changes. From war to peace, from hardship to prosperity, these coins were always there. By 1956, the wheat design was nearing its final chapter. Only a few years later, it would disappear forever, replaced by a new symbol. That makes every 1956 cent part of the closing story of a beloved era. Paragraph 13. As years pass, fewer untouched examples remain. Coins vanish, are damaged, or are spent again. Each survivor grows more meaningful with time, not because of rarity at birth, but because of endurance. Rediscovering one feels like opening a time capsule from a simpler world. It reminds us when money had weight, sound, and presence. Collectors pause before spending old copper, knowing history can be lost forever. Preserved, the coin becomes a silent witness to American life. It teaches us that even small things can carry great stories. In the end, the 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny is not just a cent. It is a symbol of memory, endurance, and hope, proof that value often hides in plain sight. Next up, the 1954 Wheat Penny, a copper witness to America's rising dreams. In the endless river of American coins, some drift quietly through time while carrying the weight of an entire generation. The 1954 Lincoln Wheat Penny is one such traveler. Small in size yet powerful in spirit, it was born in an era when hope filled the air and the future seemed wide open. The year 1954 stood in the heart of America's post-war revival. Families were rebuilding, cities were expanding, and highways were spreading across the nation. A single penny still had meaning, and this coin became part of countless daily stories. The Denver Mint, identified by the D beneath the date, struck these coins to serve a booming economy. Machines worked without rest, producing millions of cents that would flow into every corner of the country. Fresh from the presses, the penny glowed with warm copper color. It was never meant to be admired, it was meant to move, to work, and to wear as time passed. Lincoln's steady gaze on the front reflects unity and courage, while the wheat stalks on the back symbolize growth and prosperity. Together, they represent a nation moving forward. Copper is a living metal. It changes with time, absorbing every touch and every moment. Each 1954 D penny carries a surface shaped by decades of human life. These cents traveled through school desks, grocery stores, factories, and kitchens. They paid for small joys and daily needs. Most were worn smooth, lost, or forgotten. Survival was never guaranteed. That is what makes the remaining examples feel special today. A well-preserved penny still shows sharp wheat lines and clear lettering, standing as a frozen memory from another era. The Wheat Penny series witnessed America's transformation through war, peace, and prosperity. By the 1950s, it had become a trusted symbol. Only a few years later, this design would disappear, making each surviving coin part of a closing chapter. As time passes, fewer untouched examples remain. Coins vanish or are damaged, and each loss makes the survivors more meaningful. Rediscovering one feels like opening a small time capsule. It reminds us of a world where money had weight, sound, and presence. Collectors pause before spending old copper, knowing history can be lost forever. Preserved, the coin becomes a silent witness to American life. It teaches that even small objects can hold powerful stories. Each scratch and tone shift is part of its journey. It connects generations through something simple yet enduring. In the end, the 1954 D Wheat Penny is not just a cent. It is a symbol of memory, hope, and resilience, reminding us that value often hides in plain sight. Next up,